My name is CeCe Ziskowski, and tonight I will be detailing my research topic and experiment, which is on biomarkers as an indicator of microRNA 375 treatment in skin cancer. So my overall topic is genetics in cancer, seeing how an individual's genes affect the likelihood and risk of developing cancer. The two main points I will be highlighting in my research are miRNA gene regulation and biomarkers. So miRNA stands for microRNA, and it's small strands of genetic material that degrade or block genes from transcription by creating a complementary strand to the gene and preventing RNA polymerase from binding to the promoter region. Biomarkers are molecules in the cell that indicate the presence of disease. For example, a biomarker in cancer cells could be the presence of oncogenes, overamplified genes in the cell cycle that promote uncontrolled cell growth, or mutations in proteins involved in the cell cycle that would cause a cell to surpass a cell cycle checkpoint, which it shouldn't, again resulting in uncontrolled cell division and cancer. So questions I will be addressing in my experiment include, can microRNA be used as a tumor suppressor to prevent cancer? And how can biomarkers be used to measure health and indicate disease? For my experiment, I will be using a computer-developed simulation of cancerous human skin cells. While I do recognize that there are limitations in using a more simplified model, this will allow me to perform the experiment without going to a physical lab, which will make it more accessible. Additionally, it eliminates the ethical concerns of testing on mice. I hypothesize that as microRNA 375 concentration increases, the amount of cancer cells will decrease, since miRNA 375 behaves as a tumor suppressor. This will be shown based on a lack of cancerous biomarkers. The control group in my experiment will be cancer cells with no microRNA treatment to see how microRNA affects the cancer cells. The experimental groups are cancerous cells with varying concentrations of microRNA 375. This will show what concentration level is most effective in suppressing tumors and which levels might be too little or too high. The independent variable which will be manipulated is the concentration of microRNA tumor suppressors. The dependent variable, which will be measured, is the health of the patient as indicated by biomarkers. To find biomarkers in the skin cells, I will be doing some additional research on currently published scientific articles to find patterns in skin cells that may indicate risk of skin cancer. So I'm going to briefly outline a couple articles that have helped me in developing my experiment. Article 1 is on microRNA 375 suppressing tumors in FLC cells, which are cells in the liver. This experiment showed that in cancer cells, microRNA 375 is heavily downregulated, meaning that in normal healthy cells, it's activated and helps prevent tumors because in its absence, cancer occurs. I'll be using this in my experiment by using microRNA 375 to test on and injecting it into simulated patients to see if injecting it helps prevent tumor genesis. Article 2 is on finding biomarkers in oral cancer cells using a Bayesian approach or looking at previous data to come to conclusions about new data. The experiment showed that polymorphisms, which are similar to mutations in the VEGF gene, which is a growth factor gene, and IL-10, interleukin 10, which is an anti-inflammatory molecule, are biomarkers for oral cancer. In my experiment, I'm going to use a similar Bayesian approach with determining biomarkers for skin cancer. And knowing that mutations and polymorphisms could possibly be biomarkers, I'm going to pay extra attention to this when I'm using my approach to see if they could possibly be biomarkers for skin cancer as well. This summer, I hope to continue my research in a couple different ways. While in contact with Dr. Sathupathy, who is a co-author of Article 1, I have potential for gaining summer research opportunities at various labs at Cornell. And additionally, I'll be taking a course in biomarkers at Brown University over the summer to enhance my understanding of biomarkers to create a more comprehensive and better experiment involving both biomarkers and microRNA. Thank you to Mr. Licari and the science department for making science research in my experiment possible, and thank you all for your time. Any questions?